Bus, metro, train, drive, in transit is on the Elias Macco Show. CJAD 800.
You know, I absolutely love our little intro we have for our daily in transit segment. Jay Farrar putting that together so long ago when we started to do our in transit segment. And we've got just a collection of sounds, right, that resonate with you when it comes to being someone that's taking public transit or driving in Montreal, those sounds you hear every day. Now, I'm just wondering, do we need to add another sound to that introduction, and should the sound be this? That's the sound of the REM. If you are living near the REM line, if you've got a condo in Griffintown, my God. I don't know if it's because of the level. Okay, make it stop. Make it stop. I mean, I'm just thinking about that and imagine, geez, what if I live next to that? And what if the train was passing every couple of minutes? Now, the dry run has begun for the REM as it enters that final stage, Brossard to Gare Centrale. Engineers said they would be working on the level of noise from the new trains. Let's find out if that work is happening with a resident of Griffintown who is dealing with this. Marc Vidricaire joins us on the line. Marc, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
So, how was your Wednesday?
Well, in fact, not very different than many of the previous days because they've been testing the REM extensively since the beginning of April. And that's why you have so many complaints that accumulated because they've been really running the REM extensively. So the fact that they would be more or less up to the normal schedule doesn't make a big difference. It's more intensive, of course, but it's nothing. It's no surprise now how loud it is. We found out, to our astonishment, way back in April, how loud it would be, and we never expected it to be that loud. In fact, according to the REM website, there was all the indications that it would be quiet, state of the art, modern. We were not worried, and then we have this, and you played the sounds. It's amazing. I mean, it's disturbing to the extreme and has a big impact on our quality of life.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Because it's not just the level of the sound, but the frequency of that sound. One thing that's difficult, Marc, in this story, like especially, we're doing it on radio here, it's difficult to situate it like how close you are to the line. Are you at the same, are you in a condo? Is that correct?
Yes.
And are you at the same level as the tracks? Like, I'm trying to situate this as to if this is an issue for everyone near the tracks or only certain people based on, the height level of their condo and that kind of thing.
No. It's really everyone is impacted. And even people that do not have condos that give on the canal, ours gives on the canal, but we have neighbors that gives it, their condo gives on the courtyard. And it's the same thing. It's all of the neighborhood that is impacted. It's so loud that whether you're facing the canal or whether you're 300 meters from the canal, which is of the REM, which is our case, because of the canal, it's open space, and because of the water carries. It's really very, very, very loud. I mean, it has a big impact on my quality of sleep, for example. Again, this morning, like every morning almost in the past few weeks, I've been, I had my wake-up call from the REM at 5:37. 5:37 steady. It's the train that comes back from the city center because the elevated portion of there's a slope there. There's a significant slope. And that's why one of the loudest, more noisiest area is really near the Wellington Bridge because of that slope. So the REM going back to Brossard has to really, work to get up there. So that creates the level of sound. That's why there's a peak there. There's beyond 75 decibel, which is really high.
We're chatting with Marc Vidricaire, a Griffintown resident who is dealing with noise of the new REM as they've entered the dry run test phase. So, Marc, let me ask you: is this are your windows closed at night? Is this something?
No.
Yeah,
we could not sleep if the windows were open.
Uh-huh.
The windows are closed, and even with that, even with earplugs, believe it or not, I mean, it wakes me up at 5:37 every morning. It's because there's a big difference between how calm and quiet it is during the night because there's no street close by. So the sound level is really very, very low. And for 4 hours, there's no REM.
Yeah.
So there's no sound. And then suddenly you get something that comes by with a peak of 75 decibel, which obviously your mind will fix. What the hell is happening there? There's something wrong. So it's really the difference between how calm it is, how quiet it is, and then suddenly, bingo, it goes up to 75 decibel. If we were, for example, on Robert Bourassa, well, there's a lot of traffic, and the sound, the traffic is kind of, the ambiance sound and white noise, and the REM is slightly higher. But here's the difference between what it is without the REM and what it is when the REM starts, and especially in the morning after a quiet night.
Let me ask you, are you putting up the Avendre sign?
No, really, because it's a dream apartment. We're giving on the canal on Federal Park. We used to sit outside and look at the cycling, going on, and people are having picnics. But I can tell you that I asked my sons for an advice on the best, system, that the noise-canceling system, so I can sit outside and read like I used to do.
Oh, boy. Have you talked to anyone at the REM? Have you had conversations, you and your fellow residents? Is there a discussion here?
Oh, yes. A lot of letters, a lot of emails exchanged. I mean, they've been very polite, but there's no information. I mean, they're telling us, yes, they're running tests, and if necessary, but we don't even know what is the level of noise that they can go to. And even that, our concern is really, I mean, even if they say, well, yeah, we're allowed to go to this particular maximum. Well, if your goal is only to comply, to go really just under the maximum that you're entitled to go to, that's not very good. That's not very friendly. I mean, you should aim at the less possible sound, whatever the means that you have to take. And this, if you want to sell the REM outside of this particular area, people will have to be convinced that it's not a big problem.
Well, I tell you what, Marc, I have listeners that maybe don't live in Griffintown, but they live along other sections of the REM that haven't opened yet, and they are certainly paying attention to what you have to say this morning.
No, exactly. They should, because, again, go to the website. It says all the right things, most modern and all of this. And I was fairly confident because I'm old enough to remember the opening of the metro in Montreal. On Pneumatic, it was the most modern metro in the world, quiet in comparison to the other metro in the world. Now, don't tell me that this is the most quiet, SkyTrain that you have in the world. Far from that. In fact, I know it's not, because I lived in Berlin for 4 years, and I can tell you the REM is not better in any way than what they have in Berlin. And this is all that was rebuilt quickly after 1945, because everything else was, everything was destroyed. So, if it is the most modern SkyTrain possible, my goodness, I mean, we have a problem.
Marc, listen, I'm running up against the clock here. I just want to say you're so passionate. You're such a great talker. It's been a real pleasure getting your perspective on this one. And let's catch up again, and hopefully with some better news if they've done something to mitigate the noise, okay?
Okay, good. Thank you. I appreciate yes.
It's our pleasure, Marc. Thanks so much. This is Marc Vidricaire, a Griffintown resident.